So let's start off with bodyweight squats. Here you can see me performing bodyweight squats. My feet are slightly wider than shoulder width apart. My feet are facing almost forward. Doesn't matter too much about that. You can have them at about 5 to 1 or 10 to 2, whatever your physiology or body shape requires. Just make sure your knees are always tracking over your toes. They're not bending inwards. That's the main thing to note here. As far as your arm position is concerned, you can see me here doing it from a sideways view, so you can see how far I'm getting down. I'm getting down to about a 90-degree angle. Depending on your flexibility and your mobility, this will vary. But don't worry if you can't get down that far, if you can get down further, good for you. It doesn't matter if your knees track over your toes, as we're recently finding out. That's not an issue. I mean, people have been squatting in the jungle to do all sorts of things for forever, so tracking your knees over your toes isn't an issue here. Now, if you do have problems getting down there, or you want to increase your range of mobility, just use some blocks, as you can see me doing here. These are a pair that I made myself out of some 4x4, but you can buy them on Amazon pretty cheaply for about £9 or £10. They just enable you to get further down, so your backside comes down towards your calf muscles, increasing that range of motion. And over time, as you keep doing this, you can decrease the size of those blocks. My arms are coming out in front of me, as you can see, just adds a little bit of counterbalancing. But if you prefer to keep your hands behind your head, prisoner squats if you like, or if you prefer to keep them across your chest, that's totally up to you. When programming this move, I suggest you do it either to a max in a circuit, or again in a circuit, do it for reps of 10 to 20, whichever you feel most comfortable at trying. It depends on what you're trying to achieve, and we'll discuss that more as we go on. Here you can see me adding a weight to the squat to up the intensity of the squat. Got a ball, holding it in a sort of a goblet squat position. That engages the core more. Just make sure when you do this that you don't round your back. You keep your back straight, even if you are leaning forward. And again, you can see my knees tracking over my toes. That's the most important thing here. And you can see I'm using a ball, as I said here, but as you'll see in a moment, you can swap that over. Here we go, Marky, that's right. Do as I say. Pick the old, that's it, make sure it's still before you pick that up. That's it. Get the old Bulgarian bag out. This is, it's that 10, 15 kilos Bulgarian bag. That's right, Marky, just swing it across your back. Let's see the people, show the people how you do that. Good man. All right, here we go. Holding on to something like this gives you a little bit more stability. I find I prefer working out with the bag rather than the ball. And also I can increase the weight, so I've got a number of bags and different sizes. But you can see here, this just ups the intensity even more when you're doing this. And depending on your specific fitness goals, you'll either be working with or without weight, or you might have a combination of two of them. And to increase the intensity even more, let's add a jump into the exercise. You can see here I'm trying to land as much as I can cat-like onto the toes, the balls of my toes, and absorb that impact. And then you can see from the side here, we're in that squat position to start with, bending right down and then pushing up. Fantastic exercise for the glutes, the quads, hamstrings, in fact the entire posterior and front chain of your legs. And obviously you have to keep your core in place as well. You won't have to do too many of these to get out of breath, believe me. And once again, get the old Bulgarian bag out, add it on your back, and let's add a few jumps with that. And that really starts to up the ante a little bit. And you'll find yourself getting out of breath pretty quickly after about 5 to 10 or so of these. A fantastic foundational calisthenic move, the bodyweight squat. Okay, where are we up to now? Lunges. Now we're moving off one leg rather than just being off two. Obviously in life, most of the time you are moving one leg at a time as you move forward, and often you need to bend down and pick something up, and doing it in a lunge type fashion, either backwards, forwards, sideways, whatever, can be advantageous. But it's a great exercise, the lunge. Particularly good, as I said, for strengthening up that posterior chain and the quadriceps, and for enabling you to finding and moving, having balance off that one leg. Here you can see me doing it from the side. Now you don't necessarily have to take such a large step forward or even get your knee to the ground in that fashion. What I want you to do is to work within your own limits to start with. Start off simple, start off basic, start off easy. Just build yourself up slowly gradually over time. Otherwise you're going to start to pull muscles, and that's not the idea of these exercises. And as you see, I'm doing it here in a forward direction, but now you're going to be able to see me. Oh, here we go. Ministry of Funny Walks. If any of you are old enough to remember Monty Python, this was part of that. So if you want to train to do a remake of that film, fantastic. But more seriously, allowing you to move. Oh, you can see there a little bobble for me, not too big that I have to take out the errors in my workout. And you can see here, I'm going to bash into the back of that, but still maintaining that upright position and walking forwards and backwards. And it attacks slightly different chains. As you walk backwards, you're working more on that posterior chain as far as the lunge is concerned. Oh, another little wobble, same space. Must be a little divot in the hole in the ground. Must see if I can get that thing sorted out. And is he going to miss it? No, he hits it once more, but makes the recovery. And here we go now. So a variation on the lunge, you can see me wobbling slightly there again, is the clockwork lunge. So you're not necessarily knowing where you're going, you're just you're in the center of the clock and you're moving out side to side in all sorts of directions, back and forward. There we see we're doing it's a slight lunge, slight variation. Be careful when you do those to take it slowly. With all of these things, take them slowly and easily and gradually at first and build up to them over a period of time. But this is great for those multi-directional type activities you might have where you never know where you're going at any one point. So for example, when you're playing things like tennis or squash and such like, it's a great exercise to prepare you for those things. Plus it's just a great standalone exercise as well, doing these clockwork lunges. We're trying to do a little Cossack side squat there. Just take it easy. We don't want to sort of damage anything valuable in that midsection region, if you know what I mean. Here we go. Let's. I do like the Bulgarian bag. So let's add a little bit of weight to this and perform the lunge. It's exactly the same as before. Coming out into a forward direction, as you can see me doing there. Obviously, you could reverse this as well. You're not seeing me do that. Why don't you do that then, Mark? Okay, no problem. He's not answering me. Just getting on with the exercises. Good lad. And that's right. So yeah, again, depending on the weight that you're using and how tired you're feeling. Oh, here we go. What are we doing now? Yep, we're on to jumping lunges. Now, again, like we jump in squats, I would keep this the jump pretty small to start with, in the length between your feet. Quite narrow. Make sure you're wearing appropriate footwear. Obviously the higher it is, the more difficult they're going to be as far as the heel's concerned, less balance, etc. So flatter heels for this one. Let's see this, doing this from the side. Again, this is going to really test you as far as your cardio is concerned, and your strength endurance. Really is heavy on the legs. Up we go. Nice little swap across there. That's it. Knees a little bit low on those. Need to keep it a little bit straighter, but that's fine. Where are we going now? Okay, and again, just showing you variations that you don't necessarily be needing to use a bag to do that. Oh, we're doing it with a jump. I see what we're doing. So we're using the ball as a weight with the jump. Come on, Mark, get with the program here. Okay, now we're on to box jumps. Okay, I know it's a step, but let's pretend this is a small box. Starting off low, around 6 to 9 inches. I would progress up to this. I wouldn't go into this if you haven't been, jumping off onto things before. I'd be doing step ups to start with and then progress onto this. But you can see here, I'm landing with 2 feet, trying to land as centrally onto the step as possible and landing lightly and as upright as possible. I'm not bending my knees, hopefully to any great extent up towards my chest on this one. Yeah, so as you can see, and as I land on the box, I step down, I don't jump down. What I'm trying to do is to minimize the impact on the Achilles tendons there. You can jump down if you're feeling okay about your Achilles, but I think, personally I prefer to step down. Now to show you the action from the side, so you can see whereabouts I'm standing about 6 inches to 9 inches away, then landing as upright as possible and then stepping down. Great exercise for developing explosive power. It's very energy intensive as well, so you're not going to be doing huge lengths of time of this. Build it into a circuit, use it as a standalone exercise. We'll talk about the program as we go through, as I said. But you can see there I'm utilizing my arms as well to help me with that. Now we're going to get on to make it even more difficult. Jumping off 1 foot, you'll find this considerably limits the amount of power you're able to produce, literally halving it, and also the height at which you can jump. But when you think about it, in many instances in life, you're not just jumping off 2 feet, you're jumping off 1 foot. In fact, if you think about sprinting, every time you run fast, you're jumping off 1 foot. So it's as well to recreate that action in a stationary mode here. I would definitely suggest you start with a lower box than this when you're doing it. Now, as you can see, if you want to up the intensity on the box jumps, let's just increase the size of it. Here you can see me jumping onto a 20-inch box. You can see I'm about 18 inches to 2 feet away from the box when I start, and I'm definitely stepping down off this one. I'm trying to land, again, cat-like, as lightly as possible and as upright as possible when I do so. Really exploding through with my arms to give me that added lift and that bend of the knee before, not necessarily a huge bend, but enough so that I push up onto my calves. As I said, this is about a 20-inch box. What we're going to do now, we're going to up the ante again. You turn it round onto that side. You can see it's a rectangle. The box itself is 20 by 24 by 30 inches. Just to make sure it's stable, I'm putting a wedge in there just to make sure it doesn't move as I jump. Safety always, folks. Let's see that. Again, I'm going to be standing back maybe slightly further back, 2 feet, 2.5 feet or so. And again, preparing for that jump, just mentally calming myself, getting myself into that right state. And then we prepare that jump. And again, trying to land as upright as possible becomes more difficult. The knees come close to the chest as the box goes higher. But again, trying to land softly. You can see me there coming down with 2 feet, but I'm using my arms as support when I do that. So that's an alternative method of dismounting. Very good, Mark. Well done. Trying to come down off alternate legs as well, so you don't get too used to or tire out one particular leg on its own. And again, if you really want to up the ante, you can push the box round for, we're going up to 30 inches. I think it's about 30, 32 inches, something like that on the box. Just make sure it's very stable in place. Put that, I've got to put that wedge in place. Got some slight undulations on the old carport. So now we just build up to it. Up we go. Whoa! Oh, there we go. Well done, Marky. That's a good. If even at your advancing ages, it's still possible to jump that way. Now we're getting into what we call the Bulgarian squat, a great single leg exercise even, Marky. Come on, get your words out. You can see here, I'm staying upright, as much upright in my torso as possible, keeping that back straight, and I'm bending through at the right knee, dropping my left knee down towards the floor. You don't necessarily have to get your knee all the way down to the floor. That's not what I'm trying to say here. And also start off on a low box here as well. Much easier to do that when you're first starting out. Then as you get more confident on this particular move, raise the box up. Now you can either have your toe just on the box, or you can have the flat part, the top part of your foot on the box. I prefer flattening my foot out as my toe goes down. Make sure you adjust your feet forward slightly or back to make sure that you can come around so you're not interfering with that back portion of the move. And again, concentrate on that time under tension, making it smooth throughout the concentric, the down and the up phase, coming down to, I'm seeing here almost a 90 degree, well, pretty much a 90 degree angle. That'll give you the most benefit as far as this move's concerned. As I said, you can keep raising that box up till it's around waist height. And then what we'll do, we'll add a weight to it. You can see me here showing you can use a ball, so you can hold the weight out in front and come down and up. It's not my preferred method when I'm doing it. I prefer, as you can see, to either use something like the Bulgarian bag, gives you a little bit more stability, or to, in fact, hold kettlebells, a kettlebell either side. So they're in a sort of like suitcase deadlift position as you're bringing it up. So again, coming up like this, you'll really feel this on the quads. The quads and the glutes get a particular hammering out of this exercise. Fantastic calisthenics exercise, and can be incorporated again into a circuit also. And here we have it's carrying on with a single leg theme into assisted pistol squats. First of all, depending on your mobility, you may need to have the box or the chair or whatever it is you're sitting down onto at a very high height. As you can see here, I'm only going down 6 inches or so. But believe me, even at this height, if you're holding it and you're doing it correctly, it's still a moderately challenging move. Now, as you get more mobile and stronger in the legs, you can drop the height of the support. And here you see, come on, Marky, let's get it. Come on, we haven't got all day here. That's right, boy. All right, that's it. Nicely positioned. Up you go. There we drop the box down to, as I said, to 20 inches. from that 24 before, and then just sitting down makes it more difficult, as you can see, and requires you to have more balance. Try to spend as little time on that box as possible. If you can just brush it with your backside and then come back up, you're more recreating what you'll do when you eventually get to do that pistol squat, that nirvana of all the single leg exercises that we all dream of. I've been there before. I'm working back up to it. I'm showing you now the progressions to get to it. This is a challenging exercise. So you can see me, I've dropped it even further now, down from to about 14 inches, all the way down onto that tyre, and again trying to spend as little time as possible on that tyre. There's a lot of balance involved here and a lot of strength, and even quite a bit of core activation to keep your torso in that position. Again, going off, well, a little bit of a wobble there, boy. Come on, keep it together now. You're on camera. Come on, you've got to show them what you can do, even at your advancing age. That's right, well done. Hands out, in balance, and there we go. Right, now we're on to the glute bridge. Now the glute bridge, or I should say a hip bridge, whichever you want to call, is a fantastic glute building exercise. And improves the flexibility of your lower back region as well. Here you can see me doing it by squeezing my glutes together, my butt together, and then pushing them towards the ceiling. My foot position is really quite close to my butt. That makes it a lot easier to do. So you can bring your feet towards your butt as you can do this, squeezing your glutes together. One past trainer said, imagine you've got a £1 coin in between your glutes, and don't ever drop that, Mark. So that's all I try and concentrate on, not dropping that £1 coin as I'm squeezing up and pushing down. Again, you can program this in sets of 10 to 15 or so, depending on what you're trying to do, circuit or maxes, etc. And again, if you want to make it more difficult from that same position, just lift one leg in the air and do single leg glute bridges. Now, if you want to make it even more difficult, you could raise both feet onto a chair or even a Swiss ball and try doing it in that fashion. And as I said, you can extend your feet forward and perform the exercise. What we're doing here is we're performing beginner exercises with a couple of progressions to show where you can go. But it's endless what you can do. As I said, it's serious glute building if you do this. Your backside, boys, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about glutes. Okay. And also, to up the ante, you can add weight to this. You can see me here slowly getting myself into a position where I've got that 10 kilo Bulgarian bag, feet towards my backside again. And then we're going to lift again, just adds a little bit more resistance to increase that intensity. You may have seen people in the gym with their shoulders on a bench, and then they're lifting a barbell instead of the Bulgarian bag. Yes, you can certainly do that, but then you're starting to use quite a bit more equipment. I know I've got a bit of equipment here, but this could be anything really from around the house. But on its own, if you do these, and as I said, in sets of 10 to 20 and build into a circuit, again, it's a great builder. Right, now we're on to the Nordic Curl. Now, I've included this because I think it's an excellent, not just for rehabilitation purposes, but for specifically targeting the hamstrings in all sorts of ways. It will massively prevent injury, I believe, and strengthen those hamstrings up. Here you can see me performing this Nordic Curl, which is basically a face plant into the floor, but a controlled face plant. Here we go. You can even bend your torso, as you can see me doing there. And it's the eccentric part where we're building up the strength here. You're always stronger in the eccentric, the falling down phase, if you like, because it's a safety mechanism that's evolution's built in to make sure when we're dropping things, our muscles extend outwards and give us the sort of strongest ability to do so we can save ourselves from becoming too injured. So building up the eccentric phase of anything, as you can see, I bent forward a little bit too much there. I'm using my hands. If you want to help yourself even more on this particular exercise, you could put a band around yourself and then hang that from above, and that can help you with that descent. I'm using a barbell here to put my legs under, and it's got a couple of weight discs either side to stop it from moving forward. But you could equally put your feet under a bar, under a sofa, anything where it keeps in place. Now, what we're doing here, moving on to the final exercises, pretty much the final exercises, calf raises. Now, this may not look like much, to be honest, but to be fair, if you do these to max, you're really going to feel it, and you're really going to feel the benefit. The calf is a neglected leg muscle, and it performs the foundation for so many and provides the support for so many other exercises and movements that you do with your legs. So I really strongly suggest you build it up. You can see me, I started off with my feet quite near to the box. You could have your hands on the wall if you like, but I've moved my feet backwards, and by extending backwards you're increasing that intensity. Now I move back even further, so I'm right on my tippy toes, keeping my body straight and my legs straight. That's the important part here, because what we're doing is we're attacking the gastrocnemius. That's the big fat muscle, calf muscle that you see at the back. And that will specifically target that. But we have two sets of calf muscle. Oh, before we get onto that, come on, Mark, get your act together. You can increase the intensity of this exercise by going off one leg. So bring it forward, come up on one leg, and then try and bring it up as far as you can. I'm wearing slightly heeled shoes here, so you can't see the complete degree to which I'm coming up. Oh, so now we're getting on to the second set of calf exercises, which attack the other part of the calf muscle, which is the soleus. By bending your legs, as you see me there, and just coming up onto your tippy toes, you attack the soleus, which is the part of the gastrocnemius that extends right from the ankle through to the base of the gastrocnemius, the big fat muscle. It's often neglected, but it provides a really good foundation as well in combination with the gastrocnemius, and if you work them both out, you'll get added benefit. You'll really feel the burn in this once you move your feet backwards, just as you did with the previous calf exercise. So I would suggest you do these to maximum to get real benefit, and then give yourself a couple of minutes in between and perform maybe one or two more sets of that. You can of course incorporate this into a circuit as well, but you can see here keeping those legs bent allows you to isolate the soleus muscle part, the soleus part of the calf muscle, and is definitely a killer. And again, you could do that off one leg as well, and that really doubles up or increases the ante on that. And also over time, you could put a rucksack on or carry something and perform this exercise again. Well, there you have it, guys. 8 great leg exercises and many progressions to help you continue on your calisthenics journey. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I know I've enjoyed making it. And if you have, why not subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to get future notifications of more videos I'll be releasing real soon. Also, feel free to leave any comments and questions you might have about the video, or other things you might want answering, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You might also be interested in fast tracking your calisthenics journey. If that's the case, why not get in touch with me at fitnessgeezer.com, and if you're in the London area, we could train one-on-one. If you live further afield, we can train online in a variety of different ways. Just get in touch to find out more. Now, to sum up, this is a journey. It's not a race. Remember, the only person you need to compete against is yourself. Take care now, guys, and I hope to catch you real soon.